Did you know that your kitchen is actually the main source of toxins in your home? But the good news is, by making some easy, simple swaps, it's actually one of the areas in your home where you could have the biggest impact on improving your health. So today I'm sharing 10 easy, and that's the key word, and you'll see what I mean, easy, non-toxic swaps. I've done a couple videos on kitchen items and things that you can do, and I feel like there's a lot of information, so I'm breaking it down to the very simplest things you can do. You can do them today. You're gonna do them in a practical way because I'm not gonna suggest you go out and change everything. Literally, you're just gonna make a few swaps. And I'm gonna start with the very simple changes, and then at the end, I'll just give you, kind of work my way up to a couple that might take a little more effort, but they're all worth it. Okay, so I saved some stuff. I've got a lot of props to share today. If this looks familiar to you, this black plastic, this is leaching microplastics and forever chemicals into your food, especially, I don't know if you can see that, but especially when it melts. This is terrible. A simple swap you can do, just get rid of these. You don't need to use plastic. Get yourself some wood or bamboo. This is healthy. These are easy to care for. They're probably cheaper than the black plastic utensils. And I can link some good ones if you want to get these, or if you don't want to use wood, right? So we've got our tongs. I just got some stainless steel tongs. I picked these up at the thrift store. They were maybe, I think, $2. It's from the brand Edland. It's stainless steel, made in the US. You know, these are probably old, but I'm using these now instead of these. And this was a simple switch. Or a ladle. I've got the ladle. I switched it out for stainless steel. If you have surfaces that you're worried about using wood or stainless steel on, you could switch to food grade silicone. I think that would be fine. Anything but plastic. Just get rid of your plastic utensils. Number 2, the next thing to get rid of is your plastic cutting board. And I've shared this before. I know that this is a bit of a controversial topic because so many of you reached out and said, I need to cut my meat. I need to use my plastic cutting board. Wood is gross. Wood harbors bacteria. It's not true. You can clean your wood cutting boards and you'll be just fine. I've been doing it for decades. And if you don't want to use wood, they also make glass cutting boards. They have stainless steel cutting boards. They have all kinds of things. So don't worry about it. What you should be more concerned than the bacteria, the plastic that's getting into your food every time you cut on a plastic cutting board. This next swap, I don't have a prop for this one because I don't have it, and I made this swap a couple of years ago. Actually, hold on. Okay, I do have a prop. I remembered I have this. I haven't gotten rid of it yet. This is another swap you can make. Don't use this plastic wrap anymore. I'm going to tell you what you can use instead. My mom got me these maybe 10 years ago at this point. These are food grade silicone toppers. You have a bowl, you put this on top, and then your food sits underneath in the bowl, and you put it in the fridge. You take it to a party, take it to a picnic, whatever you want to do. However you would have used the plastic wrap, just use these, and then you can hand wash them. I think you can put them in the dishwasher. I like to hand wash mine, but these are a great replacement. They're less wasteful, and they're not leaching harmful plastic into your food. So that's the third replacement. And actually, while we're talking about this plastic wrap, I did want to mention parchment paper, because I also shared that sometimes parchment paper, well, most times parchment paper is coated with a nonstick coating. And generally these coatings contain PFAS, a forever chemical. You don't want that. So my suggestion, I have this unbleached parchment paper. I'm going to give you even a better recommendation than this, but if you can see, this is brown and normal parchment paper is white, and that's because they bleach the paper. This is unbleached, and I think that this is a better alternative. Now, I don't know for sure because this also says nonstick, so I'm not sure if this has coatings in it. If you want to be truly safe, a lot of you recommended the brand If You Care. I can link it below, but they do parchment paper that's completely uncoated and completely safe. So you can do this. But if you're using parchment paper, at the very least, I recommend you to get the unbleached. Okay, and while we're talking about bleached things, I want to talk about coffee filters. This is another swap you can make. Instead of using those white coffee filters, those are bleached, switch to the brown ones. Those are not bleached, and most of the time the brown ones are actually made of paper. The white ones have plastic in them. And you're probably wondering why coffee filters would have plastic in them. I was wondering the same thing. Probably because it's cheaper, they can get away with it, people don't seem to know. Well, they're not gonna get away with it with us because now we know better. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. It's free. Okay, so moving on to point 5. The next very easy swap you can make is to get rid of your plastic food storage containers. These break down. If you are storing food in them for a significant amount of time, if you're storing acidic food in them, just get rid of them. You just get yourself some glass food storage containers. This is from the brand Store and Lock. I like the glass lock ones. It does have a plastic lid. You can get them with bamboo lids as well. I like to just store things in here. I don't overfill it so that the lid is touching the food. And actually the lid may be silicone, I'm not even sure, but this is better. You want your food stored in glass. And if you don't want to use something like this, they also have bowls that you can use. They can double up as mixing bowls and they can be food storage bowls. I also get like the little casserole dishes, the Pyrex ones, and I store my stuff in there. Just swap out your plastic food storage for the glass food storage. And I will say about the glass, I know that it's a bit more expensive and I know that it's heavier, but I do think that it's worth it for our health. I'm just gonna put on the screen what this is because I was actually shocked to learn just how much plastic we are ingesting, and over our lifetimes, we will actually ingest an entire huge garbage bin of plastic. But back to food storage. If you are using those plastic food storage containers and you don't wanna give them up, I would say 2 things. Number 1, that's fine, just don't heat them up. Just never ever heat your food up in those plastic containers. So that's number 1. Number 2, don't store anything acidic in there. If you've got tomato paste, tomato sauce, don't store those in plastic because those do break down the sides. They do leach, cause the plastic then to leach chemicals into your food, and you don't want that. Okay, number 6, we're kind of still on this plastic theme here, and it's your measuring spoons. Oh my gosh, I have been using these for years, and until I started looking into my kitchen and trying to eliminate plastics, I never really thought that I was still using these measuring spoons. So I'm baking bread and making cakes and measuring things with plastic. They have simple stainless steel measuring spoons and cups that you can use. And so I'm gonna be replacing these, and I would encourage you to do the same. You know, it's funny, I've been working in an adjacent field to this, kind of dealing with materials and environmental and sustainability for the last couple of decades, and it just didn't really occur to me until recently in my own home, some of these things. So now to my next point, number 7, the next thing that you can swap, your mixing bowls. Here I am again. These are, I love these mixing bowls actually. These are from KitchenAid, and they have this little like silicone thing on the bottom, and they're very lightweight, and we make things in them. But guess what? I also use metal utensils. You know, I have a metal whisk. Sometimes I use my mixer in here, and I'm probably flaking plastic into everything that I'm eating. So I'm not gonna be using these anymore. I'm gonna use these for storage for other things, try to repurpose them, but I'm gonna get some stainless steel mixing bowls. I do have a couple glass ones already, and I'm gonna get some stainless steel ones. And just one quick thing about stainless steel, because a couple of you commented this to me. Sometimes stainless steel does have nickel in it, and that could get into your food. It's not a concern for most people. Nickel's fine, it's in the ground, it's everywhere. But if you do have a nickel allergy, that's when it could be a concern. So just something to be aware of. If you do have a nickel allergy, be sure that whatever stainless steel you're getting does not have that nickel in it. So this next swap is about your baking trays, your cookie sheets. This is from Calphalon. I have had this, I think I got this as a wedding present, I want to say, so almost 18 years ago now. And I realized that I've been using this, and I generally put a silicone, you know, like a food grade silicone baking mat on here, but I realized this is aluminum. If you can, you know, we're kind of getting into the swaps that require a little bit more effort. I would recommend stainless steel. They sell stainless steel baking trays and cookie sheets. I will link the ones that I just actually purchased to replace these. You don't want to eat off aluminum. And speaking of aluminum, I do have to tell you about bakeware as well. So you've seen this in some of my videos. I need to get rid of it, but I'm actually hanging on to it so that I can just show you what I'm talking about. This was my grandma's bundt pan. And this is nonstick. It's made of aluminum and then it's coated with nonstick. I'm assuming Teflon. I mean, I'm certain that this is Teflon. And look how scratched it is. This is terrible. I can't believe that I was making cakes and serving these cakes to my kids for years, and all of this is scratching off and we're eating this Teflon. It's not good. So I bought this to replace it. This is also aluminum. It's anodized aluminum. This is from Fat Daddy-O. I wouldn't have bought this if I had kind of thought a bit more about this. I bought this maybe a year ago. This is better. It's new. It's not scratched. I'm going to continue to use it until I see maybe that it's degrading a little bit. But again, it's aluminum. They do make cast iron. They do make glass. So those would be great replacements. So if you're thinking about your bakeware, and if your bakeware looks like this, just get rid of this. Throw this away. Now we're getting into the swaps that require a little bit more effort, but I actually think that number 9 here is probably the most important swap that you could make. So let me tell you what this is, and I've shared this one before. The swap here is to get rid of your non-stick cookware. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take a hard stance here, and I'm just gonna say that there is no good nonstick cookware. I know that's controversial. You may disagree with me, and who knows, maybe history will prove me wrong. Let's hope so. I'm saving this as well. We don't use this anymore. This is a ceramic coated pan. I don't know what it's coated with. The manufacturers aren't very upfront about what their coating is made of. A lot of times they'll say, oh, it's healthy, natural. You know, they'll throw out all these marketing claims. I'm sorry, I'm in marketing, so I know better than that. These are not valid claims. And honestly, sometimes when you email the manufacturer, the claims change depending on who's answering the email. I think we've been conditioned to think that we need non-stick cookware. We get it into our head that we can't cook on a surface unless it's non-stick because then it's going to be messy. It's going to be hard to clean up. That's not the case. I think it's fine. At this point, I'm only recommending stainless steel. This is a 20-year-old stainless steel all-clad pan that we use. I'm only recommending stainless steel and cast iron. I know the cast iron is a bit heavier. This is not that heavy. Stainless steel is quite light. Again, you have to think about if you have a nickel allergy, but generally, if you get a stainless steel pan from a reputable source, and I can link the ones that I think are good and that come from good sources of steel, you can even find them in the thrift store. But this is a swap I highly recommend. I think it's gonna give you the biggest bang for your buck if you are cooking. Okay, and this last swap actually makes me really sad, and you may or may not have this in your kitchen. I bought into the hype, and this has been something that for years it's been like all the rage. And so I took the plunge and I got myself an air fryer. My kids wanted one. So I said, okay, let's try it. And I got the Ninja. So this makes me sad because we've only had it for a few months now. And now I'm finding out a lot of interesting things about air fryers. I'm not gonna say every air fryer is bad. However, most of them are coated in a questionable coating. And I went down this whole rabbit hole on this Motivation website. I've talked about them before. And they also went down a rabbit hole where they were reaching out to manufacturers. They were trying to understand what these air fryers are made of. The one that I have is made of aluminum. And then it says it has a ceramic coating, but they don't say what that coating is. So what I'm doing for now, and I'm gonna see how this works, I have put a stainless steel insert into my air fryer. I don't want my food touching the Teflon or whatever the coating is in the air fryer. So I have this little thing for my Instant Pot and I've put it in the bottom of my air fryer, and that's what I will use to cook my food on. You can buy these if you don't have something at home already, but just look in your cabinet. You may be surprised and kind of find something that you can use, like a little tray. That's what I'm gonna do. If you are looking to buy an air fryer, I can link some that Motivation recommended because they have stainless steel ones and they have glass ones. I wish I had done my research before I got mine, but here we are. I'm gonna go the insert route and see how that goes. Okay guys, so those are my 10 easy swaps that I think you should make. I wanted to just make it simple, boil it down to 10. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you wanna see videos on more swaps and content, just request them below because I'm really interested in this topic and I've been doing a lot of work in my kitchen to try and figure out what I can replace and what I can consider swapping out so that I can set my health and my family's health on the right track and make sure that we're being careful and just making decisions with the most information that we have and that what's available today. And if you want to keep watching, I'm going to link a video here, so click on it and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.